the speech of Mazen Nandekan that he made for how many years? Some of those messages last 4 hours. But in all of them, the Nigerian government could not find any single word to indict him. Instead, what we are seeing today is revelations. What you are going to hear today, he said it, Mazen Nandekan said it, yes, Nandekan said it. That is what you hear everywhere. And because he was right, he has always been right. Every single thing he's put forward, he has always been right. It was not just a mere propaganda to tarnish image of somebody. It was not a mere propaganda to destroy somebody. It was never a propaganda. That is why, even though they captured Mazen Nandekan and keep him in their territory, yet in their court, they can't make headways. They can't make it. Mazen Nandekan represented absolutely the same thing today. Mazen Simon Ekpa is representing today. Mazen Simon Ekpa is representing excellently well. Even the Finland authorities are helpless in the case of Mazen Simon Ekpa. Because they touch an innocent man, they have ended up in destroying their own reputations. Finland will never remain the same. From the way they treated Mazen Simon Ekpa, Finland will never, ever remain the same. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter how they try to hide it. It doesn't matter their propaganda and their blackmail. No matter the strategy Finland apply today, they will never, ever remain the same. Because they have sold their souls and they dive into something that will consume them. For anybody that enters and share the same ideology with Nigeria, from the moment you enter into deal with Nigeria, you have shared from their cause, and the cause that is upon Nigeria will follow you. You can't escape it. You can never escape it. It doesn't matter. Go and check. Every country that have entered into deal with Nigeria, go and see how they are. You saw what happened to Kenya. After the Kenya kidnap of Mazen Nandekan, you saw what happened to them. Their country was in chaos. Their country was in a very, very, very big chaos. In a very big chaos. Unimaginable. But yet, some people continue to pretend that all is well. Until Kenya came at last and they began to take responsibility. And today, they are confessing. Because Kenya have confessed and finally are ready to pay for their deed. Somehow, only Chukwu Okekabema will decide whether they will recover or not. And they accepted their responsibility. And they are ready to pay compensation to Mazen Nandekan. Because if they don't redeem themselves, that will mark their end. For every move you make against the children of Chukwu Okekabema, you will pay dearly. You will pay dearly. You will pay dearly. Whenever you go into deal with Nigeria against the Biafran people, you will suffer. You will suffer. And there's no two ways about it. You can never escape what will come upon you. You can't escape it. The only thing will save you is for you to walk away from that evil and do the right thing. I'm going to share some of the images that were coming out during the time. These are the different faces of the man that died in 2017. After he died, they begin to manufacture different kinds of faces. They begin to manufacture different kinds of faces. We began to see different kinds of Buharis. Maybe most of you have forgotten, but we wouldn't forget. We never forget. That is why when the time calls, we bring it out. Just watch in this screen. You will see different faces of Buhari. These are different people altogether representing him at every particular point in time. And those who were involved in that fraud, including Christians, including people who claim to be Christians. You can see different images. All these people, we are representing one man. These are different faces they use to deceive Nigerians. And while this is were going on, we are always updating Nigerians, telling them, look closely, look closely. This man you are seeing is not the person you think he is. Just look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this one. One particular individual with different kinds of faces. Look at this one. These three pictures now are not the same. These three pictures you are looking here are not the same. These are different individuals, three different persons representing one man. And this happened in a country where human beings live. In a country where human beings live. At every given point in time, you see different faces. Just look at these faces. These are different people altogether. This one here is a different person. This one here is a different person. This one is a different person altogether. This one is a different person. They are different in their face, in their earlobes, in everything. They're very totally different. And if you see the way Aisha Buhari was sitting beside this man that time, you will know that he's not his husband. She's isolating herself from him. She always isolated herself and stayed distant, up to the extent that she began to go away from him completely, and she was living in Dubai. She went and began to live in Dubai while the husband was in Asarok. Remember when they had a fight in Asarok? When she was fighting with the daughter of Abakire? Because it came to a time Abakire was the person who was managing that imposter in Asarok. And Abakire was the one occupying Asarok. And when Aisha Buhari came to flex muscle, at the time she was telling Nigerians, take back your country. She even made the revelation and told them, take back your country. Nobody listened, nobody paid attention. These are different faces of the man that died in 2017. Today, that they are telling you that he's dead, which one is dead among them? Is it this one, or this one, or this one, or this one, this one? 5 different people. Which one is dead? Which one died? Which of the Buharis died? We know that the real man died in 2017. And nobody have proven otherwise up to today. Nobody have disproved it. Even when he was in hospital, they cannot even tell you the sickness, what was wrong with him. Nobody knows what he was suffering, what kind of treatment he was going for. Even up to now, nobody knows. Even this last one that they said he went to treatment and he died, nobody knows. And yet, some of them think that Biafra is your problem. Biafra is not your problem. The earlier you understand how this world operates, the better for you. And before we continue, I have to take you to what they are saying in their media. Let us look together into one of the media broadcasts in the zoo, and let's see how they narrate this case of Buhari. Let's see what the Nigerian media are saying in the death of this criminal. Let us hear what they are saying in the death of this their criminal. What do they have in mind? What are they saying? Let us listen to them closely and hear the discussion that is going on in the zoo as the man who claimed to Buhari finally was discovered.
It's a pleasure. Yeah. Good evening. So former President Muhammadu Buhari has died at 82. How would you describe President Muhammadu Buhari's legacy, both as a military head of state in the 80s and as a democratically elected president decades?
Speaking about the man Buhari, first of all, I think the sentence is to say that it's so rest in peace and God comfort his family members and just people that's something to it's a loss of life and we must always stay cognizant of that and keep on assessing. Having said that, Man Buhari is something of story. It's been around for quite a while. Like a number of his contemporaries in the national limelight and affecting the course of Nigerian states partly through history, starting from even before his coming on board as head of state. His first stint when he served as a minister, and before then, his role during the Civil War and all of that. I think that um, his passing should be a lesson that I think that all, especially those that are entrusted with positions of leadership, and that God has simply given the opportunity to affect the lives of others, it should be a lesson that we should not take those opportunities, those responsibilities, lightly, and that we should seek as much as possible to make the most of those opportunities. Having come, as a military head of state in 1984, yeah, early 85, before he was overthrown by Romania, the things that he did then, the jury is out, and he's
His second coming was a disaster. It is not just a second coming. Even the first time Buhari ruled Nigeria, it was a disaster. Economically, it was a disaster. But Nigerians are they like to cover things and begin to do show. The first coming was also a disaster. But at least you recognize that his second one, a complete and total, not just disaster, a confusion and the end of the zoo. He was the one that ended the Zoological Republic. Don't ever forget that. He was the one that ended the zoo finally.
and really affect Nigerian society, Nigerian citizens because of our history.
Remember what this lady said? President Buhari said his wife's place is in the other room. Was that woman really in the other room? Throughout his tenure, the woman was in Dubai. Even up to his death, the wife was in Dubai, not with him. Is her place really in the other room? You know, when they lie all this, they are lying. When they lie all this, they are lying. You wouldn't. There are so many things to prove that this man died in 2017, but yet they come and paint him what he is not. And that is why Nigeria will never ever survive, because they continue to do that even up till now. They continue to play the same script up till now.
Would you say that his success as a military leader basically was because of his deputy? Really?
I think that from my understanding of how leadership works, John Maxwell has given us this very famous refrain now that everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything, right? So it's difficult to give the glory to a second in command, or to also give the blame to a second in command. I think whatever good or whatever bad came out of that, his first coming as a military dictator was, sit squarely on his shoulders. The little successes with regards to trying to clean up the unstable with regards to corruption, trying to engineer society and get Nigerians to behave better, had to be him. But even though it was today they are not that executed those things, but you had to believe that it was with his active approval. And then the failings and the failures with regards to economic policy and how the economic collapsed to the extent that it gave Babangida the platform to wage another. You must also put that squarely on his shoulders, and that continued when how then became the civilian president. But I think that speaking about the man, he's quite an interesting character, in so many regards. Sticks out his simplicity. The fact that, unlike most people, most former leaders, who would pursue legacy, who would pursue self-improvement, who would write books, who would go for further education, maybe additional degrees, set up foundations. You see President Olusegun Obasanjo, you can see President Goodluck Jonathan, you can see all the things they're doing as individuals today. You can see Abdulsalami Abubakar, the Peace Corps, and the Peace, what's the name of that institution, elections. Like, you see all of this, that Buhari did absolutely nothing along those lines. And I find this because he's a very simple man. And he said so himself, all he wants is to have peace and to live this castle in Katsina or in Kaduna.
Yeah. Let me
You
go
see the stupidity. A man that did not achieve anything, did not make any progress or make any attempt to make progress, they are now interpreting that as simplicity. That is the idiocy of a Nigerian man. A man that could not improve himself, could not improve another person, neither develop himself or any person, he never gave chance and opportunity to anybody to develop, and you are calling that simplicity. How is that simple? A man that stole huge amount of money. All those money he stole, what did he do with it? And yet, some people will come and refer to him as a simple man. How is Buhari simple? How is it simple? Look at the Emefiele today, languishing in jail. Emefiele is languishing in jail, all thanks to Buhari. Look at what has happened to every single individual that is attaching himself to Nigeria today, all thanks to Buhari. And yet, people will come and describe him as a simple man. He lives a simple. What simple life? Do you know how many billions of dollars that he stole? Do you know how many billions of dollars that his crown is stolen? And yet, this useless analysts will come and they begin to talk rubbish about it. It is sad. This is why Nigeria will never survive, because you can never get the truth from them, including the journalists. They are part of the problem.
Interesting that you mentioned that. In fact, Garba Shehu came out to say not too long ago that the president turned down a 10 million naira budget that he'd rather have been talking about using, his simplicity was, out there and all of that. Now let's talk about, him being a symbol of corruption, anti-corruption, beg your pardon. In your view, though, do you think he lived up to that image throughout his political career. I'm putting at the back of your mind that he said he should fight corruption, fight that. But
So that again is one of those things about Buhari that is quite interesting. Treated, yes, the right one. On the one hand, look at the man Buhari and recognize that if you look at his life and the evidence, the things that will provide evidence of affluence and wealth, he didn't have them around him. We kind of understand that he had one house in England and then his house in Katsina. Nobody actually was over that in his world. He never had other jobs, you know. So you can actually say the man Buhari was maybe not corrupt in terms of stealing from public office, right? In terms of financial corruption. However, as a result of that aura, the aura of frugality, the aura of anti-corruption, the aura of discipline, being a hard man that fights against corruption, you know, he came on board in 2015 and he was demystified. In 6 months to the year, he was captured by so called cabal, and everything that happened after that was blamed on the cabal. The corruption that happened under Buhari was so tremendous that it's difficult to then absolve him of blame and say he was not a corrupt president. How can you not be a corrupt president when your ministers were making 40 billion US dollars in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, when I think it was SMG at that time, was giving contracts to photographs, you know, in Borno State, a contract that never happened. And you know, the cases were so many of corruption that happened under the president Buhari. The NNPC refineries that billions of dollars were released for never got their invested on that. And you can go on. It will be difficult to them. I think that he failed spectacularly with regards to his anti-corruption here. And you know, that failure may not necessarily be because he himself was personally corrupt, but you know, he failed as a leader. You really have to. There's no